I'm Megan,
I'm Christy.
and we are
Homebrew.
Murder Crew. And we're here with the microbrew.
It's a microbrew.
Ow! Microbrew.
We hope everybody had a really good Easter.
Yes.
Yeah. Hit us with the microbrew, Megan, because
Yeah, for sure.
the episodes where there's no fluff,
No fluff.
just the stuff.
The microbrew I'm bringing you today it might be a little bit of a longer one, but I wanted to cover this today because this individual has been in recent news, and I noticed a lot of people don't know who he is. So I wanted to cover it today so that I can bring a little
Recent
bit of
news.
recent news. And I think we talked about it on last very brief.
It's been so long. Because again,
yeah,
life and grief and
So without further ado, I'm just going to tell you what it is. I am bringing to you the case of the Soham murders. So that is Holly Marie Wells and Jessica Amy Chapman from Soham, the village of Soham. So, which I didn't put here.
Sorry, the village of Soham. So,
I didn't put where Soham is. I know it's in Europe, but let me just Google this. Sorry, guys.
Also, I don't know.
It's a town in England.
Why do you look so good in the light, and then I look like a big glary?
I don't know. I don't think you look like a big glary.
Maybe it's just because I leaned forward.
Oh, maybe
that's probably why. Yeah.
Yeah.
On the side of this. Okay.
So, Holly Marie Wells and Jessica Amy Chapman. They were two 10-year-old best friends living in the quiet village of Soham in England. Holly was born October 4th, 1991, and Jessica was born September 1st, 1991. They were typical children of their community, active in school and social activities. On the afternoon of August 4th, 2002, the girls were attending a family barbecue at Holly's home in Red House Gardens. At about 5:04 p.m., Holly's mother, Nicola Wells, took a photograph of the two girls. In the image, which would soon become the defining icon of the search, both girls wore matching red Manchester United football shirts. This photograph was the last known record of the girls. Yeah. So between 5:11 p.m. and 5:32 p.m., so this is still the same day, which is August 4th, 2002, the girls were browsing the internet and sending emails demonstrating the mundane nature of their final hours. At approximately 6:05 p.m., the girls left the Wells residence without informing their parents. They were intending to go purchase sweets from a vending machine at a nearby. From a vending machine at a nearby Ross Piers Sports Center. They were captured on CCTV at the Sports Center at 6:17 p.m. 6:07. Yeah. At about, they wouldn't know what that was.
No.
This was so long ago. And at 6:28 p.m. they left the sports center. On the CCTV footage, they also saw the girls walking past a specific address called 5 College Close. This was a house that was provided to the senior caretaker at the Soham Village College as part of the employment. At about 8:00 p.m., Nicola Wells went to Holly's bedroom to invite the girls to say goodbye to the remaining guests from the barbecue when she discovered the room was empty. Holly and Jessica were nowhere to be found.
Fucking nightmare.
Because remember, they didn't tell their parents they were leaving, and that was at 6.
Kids, tell your parents. Not that any kids listen to our podcast.
Yeah.
If you know a kid, tell them not to do that.
Yeah.
Not victim blaming. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So they had a curfew, which was 8:30 p.m. So when 8:30 p.m. came and went, the girls had still not returned. The Wells, so the Wells family and the Chapman family, so Jessica and Holly's parents, um, began a frantic search of the surrounding streets, searching for them, hoping they had just been delayed coming home from wherever they had gone. However, by 9:55 p.m., when Holly and Jessica had not been located out on the streets or had returned home, the parents officially reported the girls missing to the Cambridgeshire um, Constabulary. 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 That is the police. The police. The po-pos. Sorry. Po-pos. They don't like to be called that. But anyways, so this they took it seriously. So the search for Holly and Jessica ended up getting a code name. It was Operation Fincham. It became one of the most intensive police operations in British history. Over 13 days, hundreds of officers and thousands of volunteers searched the Cambridgeshire countryside. The girls' parents made emotional televised appeals, and public figures like David Beckham issued pleas for their safe return. So I'm just going to go over now kind of the steps of the investigation, the search and everything. So on August 5th, so the following morning, the police had gone to the house of the caregiver for the college. The caregiver that lived there was Ian Huntley. Ian Huntley was questioned. He told police that he had actually seen and spoken to the girls. They had shown up on his doorstep the previous afternoon. He said that they were happy and chatty and left in good spirits. He claimed that they had stopped by to inquire about his girlfriend, Maxine Carr, who had recently put in an application to become a teacher at their school. Maxine Carr had previously worked at the school as a temporary classroom assistant, and both of the girls knew her fairly well. So this was at St. Andrew's Primary School. She had applied to become a full-time teaching assistant at the school after her contract ended at the close to the end of summer term of 2002. So the girls had stopped by to just see her and ask her how things were going. She actually hadn't gotten the position, so that was unfortunate. But they were, so they were like, "Do you mind if we look around?" So a single officer searched his house and noted right away that he had clothing hanging on the line outside, despite it had recently rained, which it's kind of weird. Like, why are you hanging your clothes up if it's raining?
Why are you hanging your clothes up, sir, if it's raining?
He also noted that the house was unnaturally clean, like smelled like bleach. It had been wiped down. This house was like immaculate. Like, it was so clean that it raised a red flag. Like, it was like hospital clean.
Yeah.
So Ian Huntley's explanation for the extreme cleanliness of the house was due to a recent flood. He had claimed that there had been a water main break and there had been a flood in his dining room. So he and his girlfriend had cleaned it up, and they did an exceptionally thorough job.
Wow.
The officer also took note that Ian appeared very agitated, and they became instantly suspicious of him. But it wasn't just that he appeared suspicious. He had actually had a criminal record.
Okay.
So in May of 1998, Ian Huntley had been charged with raping.
You may as well just say it. Yeah,
it's edit it out.
I honestly,
are we allowed to say it?
We're not an under 18 podcast, and I want to give it. My idea is that
call it what
it is. Yeah. Right. Like, why are we fluffing it up for who? Like, if you're a rapist, you're a rapist. You're not a rapist. I understand people on social media do it because you're going to get flagged. For sure. But because we are 18 plus only, I don't think we're going to get flagged. So call it what it is, honey.
Well, he had raped an 18-year-old woman in Grimsby. The case that had eventually been dropped due to lack of evidence. Earlier that same year, he had also appeared in court for a residential robbery. In 2001, Ian Huntley had moved to Cambridgeshire with his girlfriend, Maxine Carr, whom he had met in 1999. Despite his record, he secured the position of senior caretaker at Soham Village College.
God.
The vetting process was a catastrophic failure.
Yeah, I'd say.
The school principal did not check his references. They admitted that they didn't. And the police record search failed to connect Huntley to the intelligence held by the Humberside Force. Huntley also, because what happened was these two cases didn't get linked in the system.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't shared with outside police forces,
right,
like the way that it should have been.
Yeah.
So he had also he had applied for the position as the caretaker under a different name, Ian Nixon. And again, they had overlooked that in the application process, in the vetting process. So that is how Ian Huntley, who was a rapist, got a job working at a college.
Oh my God.
So Ian Huntley and Maxine Carr were highly visible in the media throughout the entire duration of the investigation.
Yeah, they looked into Maxine's history?
They did. So while there isn't a lot on Maxine, she's pretty clean. So clean. But Ian Huntley both Ian Huntley and Maxine Carr actually gave many interviews throughout the 13-day process of this investigation. Mm-hmm. So Ian actually they both positioned themselves as concerned community members, and being one of the last people to ever see the girls before they went missing.
Yeah.
So that was on August 5th. So the cops did their due diligence, interviewed a few more people, and on August 7th, the Soham community held a candlelight vigil at St. Andrew's Church. On August 8th, police released the CCTV footage of the girls from the sports center to the public to bring in more witnesses, to see if anybody else had seen them, or to just see if anybody had anything to say about it. So on August 8th,
is this the guy that died in jail? And then we were also talking about, what's his name, from Ontario or something?
Yeah.
Thuda Wellstein? Okay. Yes. That's why it sounds familiar. Okay,
yeah.
sorry.
But I realized then that I was familiar with the case.
Yeah.
Because of another podcast I had listened to, but I wasn't familiar with that. I had to Google who he was.
Yeah.
So I wanted to put this out there so that you guys know who he is too. So on that same day that police released the CCTV footage, Maxine Carr gave BBC TV an interview. She told journalists that during this recorded interview that she had been in the bath at the couple's home in Soham at the afternoon that the girls had disappeared, and that she had been in the bathtub at the time of them coming by to ask her about her application. So that was,
so that proves that he was lying, because he said that the girls came by to speak with Maxine. Maxine, right?
Yeah. But she was in the tub, so they couldn't talk to her.
Yeah.
And that's the story they gave.
Gotcha.
And she corroborated.
Yeah.
Corroborated. So they're still suspicious though. It's still super weird. It's super weird that these two girls go missing, and he's the last person that saw them, and he has that criminal record.
Super weird that you're a rapist and you got hired at the school for a false name because nobody ran a background check. Super weird.
Yeah. So on August 10th, a televised reconstruction of the girls' last known movements is broadcasted nationally to generate more leads. That same day, which was a Saturday, August 10th, Ian Huntley and Maxine Carr were interviewed by Rachel Dane for BBC Look East, which is a TV program. So during this recording, however, Maxine Carr repeatedly referred to the girls in past tense.
Ooh, girl.
Even after the cameraman stopped the interview to point out this error to her. While Ian Huntley appeared calm, cool, and collected, during this session as well, the crew noted that Maxine Carr seemed very jumpy and nervous. And again, she kept referring, even after the cameraman stopped her to be like, hey, what are you doing? She continued to refer to them past tense.
That's very telling. Also, don't stop somebody from telling on themselves,
Yeah.
Mr. Cameraman. Like,
Yeah.
let her run with it. And
so after that happened, Sheriff Gavin Sheriff of the Sunday Post, so he's not sheriff, Gavin Sheriff of the Sunday Post, so for a newspaper, had approached the pair when they were leaving the interview and asked them to do an interview. Ian Huntley agreed to the interview, but Maxine Carr was heard saying no, 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 and remarking that on how the search efforts made the situation, quote, hit you, unquote. So she was insinuating that he not do the interview because it's really starting to look like he might have been involved, which was a little sus. So between the 14th and 15th of August, Brian Farmer of the PA News Agency interviews the couple again at their home for 45 minutes. Like, they interviewed these two.
Jesus.
Like, they were not giving up on these two.
No.
Something was sus and they were going with it. So he interviewed them at their home for 45 minutes. Brian Farmer later testified that Ian Huntley's answers were so suspicious that he felt compelled to share his concerns with the police. Like, he inserted himself into this investigation. I think it's important for me to say. He put himself out there to have these interviewers come to him. And that's why all these interviews happen. Like, he was putting himself out there. Like, he was like, you know, he was out there being like, he was coming to help you find these missing girls. And I was the last person to see them. Like, I feel responsible or whatever. I don't know if that's what he said, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So on August 16th, so now it is 11 days after the girls disappeared, a few minutes after sorry, I'm confused. Oh yeah, so in one of the most famous segments of the search, Ian Huntley is interviewed live by Jeremy Thompson for Sky News. He claimed the girls, quote, seemed fine, unquote, and walked off towards the library. That same day, a few minutes after Ian Huntley's appearance, Maxine Carr is interviewed on the Sky News Live at 5, where she speaks about a card that Holly Wells had previously drawn for her. Ian Huntley then gives another live interview for a national morning news program. Like, these two are, like, it's crazy. They're being looked at hard. Like, I don't even think that the cops ever had any other suspects.
Yeah.
They were just like, these two are weird. They are doing all of these interviews, inserting themselves into this investigation, but they have nothing, right? Like, they searched the home, they didn't find it. Until August 17th, 2002. A gamekeeper discovered human remains in a remote irrigation ditch near RAF Lake in Heath, approximately 12 miles from Soham. These remains were confirmed to be Holly and Jessica. That afternoon, investigators searching Soham Village College find the charred remains of the girls' Manchester United shirts hidden in a bin inside, quote, the hangar workshop of the college. So based on
who has access to that?
Yeah.
So it's already on our radar.
Yeah. Based on this and inconsistencies with their alibis, Ian Huntley and Maxine Carr are finally arrested.
Yay.
So the theory is, and the exact sequence of these events remain partially obscured by the fact that Ian Huntley, his shifting narrative. But the investigators established that Ian Huntley had lured the girls into his home by claiming that Maxine Carr, their popular teaching assistant at St. Andrew's Primary School, was present. In reality, Maxine Carr was visiting her mother in Grimsby, leaving Ian Huntley alone in the house. She wasn't even there. The prosecution's theory was that Ian Huntley's motive was sexual grooming and assault. During the trial, it was argued that Ian Huntley killed the girls to silence them and prevent the discovery of his actions. Forensic evidence suggested the girls were murdered by asphyxiation. Ian Huntley later admitted to his father on a phone call that is recorded, by the way.
God, girls be dumb,
that he had killed Jessica Chapman, specifically to stop her from using her mobile phone to summon help. After the murder, Ian Huntley bundled the bodies into the boot of his red Ford Fiesta. That's very specific.
Yeah. Why a Fiesta? Why does it have to be a Fiesta?
This
is not a Fiesta.
So that is a very small vehicle.
Yeah.
So he had to maneuver
Oh, God.
into the boot of this car because, rigor mortis.
Yep.
Probably setting in. Fucking disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
And he drove to the remote irrigation ditch near the RAF Lake and Heath, a location he knew well from his youth, to dispose of the remains. In an attempt to destroy evidence, he partially burned their bodies. The trial of Ian Huntley and Maxine Carr commenced at the Old Bailey in London in late 2003. Ian Huntley initially denied the murders, but 3 weeks into the trial, he admitted that the girls had died in his home.
So Maxine.
Oh, she retracted. She's admitted that he had coerced her into giving him an alibi. She instantly turned on it.
Okay. So that's why, because she was like aiding and abetting essentially, but she wasn't actually there, but she interfered with the police investigation.
She did.
So that's what she's okay.
They both were charged. Tried. Originally both of them for the murder because they were certain that the murder happened, and she had originally told them that she would.
Okay.
So, but as the trial progressed, her story changed as well, and her revised story was corroborated by her family. So she was not in Soham, and So anyways, 3 weeks into the trial, he admitted that the girls had died in his home, presenting the defense of an accidental death. Ian Huntley's testimony claimed that Holly Wells had suffered a severe nosebleed outside his home. He alleged that while helping her into the bathroom, he accidentally knocked her into the bathtub he had run for his dog, and she drowned.
And my dick fell inside her.
He further claimed that Jessica Chapman began screaming, and while he was trying to silence her by placing his hand over her mouth, he accidentally suffocated her.
But also, we know that he's a rapist, so
for sure.
I mean, he's trying to bring himself a little bit further away from the true fact of his nature, and I'm not sure.
No, definitely not. This account is systemically dismantled by the Home Office pathologist, Dr. Nathaniel Carey, who argued that the drowning in such a manner was physically impossible.
Okay, and what did he say?
Conscious child.
What did he say happened to the other one?
That she was screaming, so he covered her mouth to try and make her stop an accident.
Oh yeah, so you have the worst laugh, my friend. Like, you are a clumsy as fuck.
I accidentally bumped her in the bathtub and she drowned. And then I accidentally
suffocated the other one. Like, oh my god.
Yeah,
you're reaching, my friend.
Yeah. So, anyways, the Dr. Nathaniel Carey argued that drowning in such a manner was physically impossible for a conscious child, and that Jessica's death required sustained, forced restraint against vigorous struggle. Maxine Carr's only role in this was in the aftermath of the murders. So that was focused on an intense public and judicial scrutiny, of course. Maxine Carr provided Huntley with a false alibi, claiming she was in Soham on August 4th when she was actually in Grimsby. This was confirmed. She maintained this lie during numerous police and non-police interviews.
Which here comes my next question then. You're maintaining this lie, but she was what, with family or something elsewhere? Like, are those people that you were actually with, are they not coming to you and be like, girl, you were with us?
Sure they were.
Like, what the fuck is happening
But
here?
like, that's her family, right? They might not go public with it.
Yeah.
But she maintained this lie during numerous police interviews. She argued that she was protecting Ian Huntley because she feared that his previous legal history would lead to false accusations. She claimed that she didn't believe that he did it. Why lie for him then? That doesn't make any sense. But the relationship between Ian Huntley and Maxine Carr was characterized by an imbalance of power. While the prosecution presented them as a team, evidence emerged of Ian Huntley's violent and controlling behavior towards Maxine Carr, including physical assault. During the trial, Maxine Carr's defense argued that she was a victim of Ian Huntley's manipulation and had no knowledge of the murders when she provided the alibi. However, the prosecution argued that the extreme cleanup of the house took place after she had arrived home, and that should have made her suspicious of his activities. He did the cleanup. The extreme cleanup of the house upon her return home should have made her suspicious of his activities.
Because ain't no man gonna clean a house.
Hell no. No. Just kidding. So Maxine Carr was ultimately convicted of conspiracy to prevent the course of justice, and she was sentenced to 42 months. The conviction of Ian Huntley was built on a foundation of meticulously gathered forensic evidence that linked him to the victims and the disposal site. Despite Ian's attempts to incinerate evidence, forensic scientists identified several critical markers. Forensic botanist, Patricia Wiltshire, provided the pivotal timeline for the murders. She observed that the stinging nettles.
Oh yeah, stinging nettles.
Yeah, the the Urtica diacea in the path of the ditch had grown new side shoots. By analyzing the growth rate of these shoots, which only occurred after the plant had been trampled, Wiltshire determined that the perpetrator had entered the ditch 13.5 days prior, coinciding exactly with the day the girls had vanished.
That's crazy. Botanists are wild. Scientists, people
I know,
are fucking wild.
Furthermore, pollen analysis from Ian Huntley's red Ford Fiesta and his shoes matched the specific floral profile of the Lakenheath site, placing him at the scene.
Furthermore, a bee came and said, Ian Huntley.
Pretty much. Forensic examination of Ian Huntley's home and vehicle yielded 154 fiber transfers linking him to the girls. In the hangar of the Soham Village College, where Ian Huntley worked, investigators found the charred remains of the girls' Manchester United shirts hidden in the bin. Ian Huntley's fingerprints were recovered from the bin bags used to conceal the clothing.
You dummy.
Additionally, a single strand of Jessica Chapman's hair was found on a twig at the disposal site, and soil samples under the wheel arches of Ian Huntley's car contained botanical markers. Markers identical to those at the ditch.
Just remember the old herbal essences commercials? Natural botanicals. You have the urge to
Just no.
But anyways, it is crazy. It's so intriguing how their thought process works on what to look for, who to get involved. Okay, we're in a ditch, we're in this area, let's get a botanist.
Yeah.
And then where do you begin? I'm blown away.
She found these nettles that she was these nettles that are on his car or on these bodies. Yeah. They were there 13.5 days ago exactly, which is when the girls went missing. Yeah, because the investigation was 13 days, but they had gone missing the night before. It's crazy. They were able to provide the exact timeline.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that doesn't give it, he basically killed them right away. Yeah. Essentially.
Fuck. He didn't waste no time.
Yeah. And I mean, there was no, I don't think that he even sexually assaulted them.
Really?
I think it just happened really fast. I think he probably tried, but they probably put up a fight And then he murdered them.
Realized he was
got him out of here.
And realized he was a little fucking bitch. And
but of course he's not going to come clean about that.
No.
So, but on December 17th of 2003, Ian Huntley was found guilty of 2 counts of murder. He was sentenced to 2 life terms with a maximum tariff of 40 years. The judge noted the appalling nature of his crimes, which had repulsed the nation. Maxine Carr was acquitted of assisting and offered but convicted of the alibi-related conspiracy. As an offender, but convicted of the alibi-related conspiracies, which I already told you. So Ian Huntley's time in prison was marked by extreme notoriety and frequent attacks by other inmates. He was held in several high-security facilities, including HPM Belmarsh, HPM Wakefield, and HPM Frankland. His status as a child killer made him a high-profile target, necessitating close protection.
This is the thing, you guys. Like, vigilante justice is not for us to take care of. Like, they will be taken care of in prison.
Yes,
these people, in one way or another. And I'm not saying one way or another, but I mean,
throughout his incarceration, Ian Huntley survived multiple serious assaults. In September of 2005, he was scalded with boiling water by an inmate, Paul Marshall, at HPM Wakefield. On March 2010, his throat was slashed by an inmate using a razor blade, an injury that required hospitalization, but not life-threatening. Ian Huntley also attempted suicide 3 times while in custody, including an overdose of antidepressant medications. In 2010, he attempted to sue the prison service for 100,000 euros for failing to protect him
from himself.
I know.
You have more attacks on yourself than other people have on you at this point.
A move that drew widespread public condemnation. The incarceration of Ian Huntley, however, ended early in 2026, following the fatal assault at MP Franklin on the morning of Thursday, February 26, 2026.
It was a Thursday.
Ian Huntley was in the prison workshop when he was attacked by a fellow inmate. The attacker was identified as 43-year-old Anthony Russell, a convicted murderer and rapist, but not
a child rapist?
No. Anthony Russell reportedly struck Ian Huntley over the head multiple times with a metal bar or a spiked metal pole.
Oh my God.
Ian Huntley suffered severe brain trauma and was transported to the Royal Victoria Infirmary in Newcastle, where he was placed on life support. His condition deteriorated over the following days, and he was taken off life support on Friday, March 6th. Ian Huntley was pronounced dead on the morning of Saturday, March 7th. This fucker lived another day after being taken off life support.
How old was he, sorry?
At the age of 52.
Bye.
Bye, Felicia. The Durham Constabulary launched a murder investigation into the incident. Anthony Russell was charged with Ian Huntley's murder and scheduled for a pre-trial hearing in April of 2026. That has not happened yet. We'll keep you posted. An inquest into Ian Huntley's death is set to open on April 14th of 2026 in Crook County, Durham. Presided over by Senior Coroner Jeremy Chipperfield. Reports indicated that there would be no public funeral for Ian Huntley, and his family planned to scatter his ashes in secret to avoid public attention.
The toilet.
The death of Ian Huntley in 2026, so a month ago. Yeah, a month ago. Well, by the time, he died on March 6th.
Oh.
By the time you guys are listening to this episode, it would have been yesterday.
Right.
A month ago yesterday. Yes.
Where did February 20...
that he was on life support for a few days.
Yeah. Right.
And then when they took him off life support, he lived for another day.
Oh, fucker.
Yeah.
This is actually cool. No. Let me rephrase that. This is interesting.
Yes.
Because, like you said, we'll keep you updated on the trial of this Anthony guy.
Yeah.
All that. But maybe you can dig into his history and
I will.
make this like
another episode.
collab.
Yeah.
Well,
I will
what do they
look
call
into
that? Crossover.
Yeah. Stay tuned for next week when I give you guys detail on Anthony Russell.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. Well, next week. Yeah,
We'll
next
see.
week. The death of Ian Huntley closed the final chapter on one of the most significant criminal cases in modern British history. The murders of Holly Wells and Jessica Chapman catalyzed a fundamental shift in how the United Kingdom approaches child protection, information sharing, and safer recruitment. While the Bichard inquiry successfully dismantled the regional silos of police intelligence. I think you're a trained.
Yeah, you know, like,
I tried to ignore it, but it's like it's there and it's loud.
It's interrupting your
That's
thoughts.
okay. I will try to keep going. The case continues to serve as a stark reminder of the consequences of administrative failure and the enduring vulnerability of children to calculated predators. The legacy of Holly and Jessica live on through the robust safeguarding framework that now protects millions. Though for their families and the community of Soham, the trauma of August 2002 remains indelible.
Indelible.
And there you have it. So I mentioned, when I saw in the news that Ian Huntley was dead, I was like, I know that name.
Yeah.
But I don't remember that story, that case. And then I started reading about it. I was like, oh, I do remember that case because I'm pretty sure that Case File did a very great episode on it where they went into a very, very in-depth detail of the timeline, which is way more information than what I just gave. So Case File, I'll always give a shout out to because it's one of the best.
That's one I haven't. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find that one again because it's not popping up on my.
I'm pretty sure it was Case File. Let's look. See, Case File, just like they did everything.
No, I think I looked into Case File and I think they took a break for a bit and then, but I could be thinking of a different podcast. But this was great, Megan. Thank you. And it's actually well, because I'm going to do my episode right after this, but it will come out on Thursday this week for you guys, which also has some interesting investigative work and angles and also talks about at the end, like it brings up safety and security, much like yours.
Absolutely.
So in a different sense, but still there's some similarities.
It was actually case number 8. Case File.
Oh,
one of their first episodes. Sorry, I just wanted to find that to give it that credit. Yeah, the credit is due. Like I remember, like their episodes are like non-competitive. You can't compete. Yeah. They do those so well. They're anonymous hosts there.
Yeah,
I
like anonymous.
I know. I wish I could be anonymous.
I know.
Here we are.
Just start another podcast where we're anonymous.
We should.
I know. We could be the. No, we'll talk about it off air.
That's a great idea. We almost gave too much
on air, but we're no longer going to be anonymous.
So there you guys have it. If you were wondering last week who the fuck Ian Huntley was, now you know.
2 weeks ago, because we missed
2 weeks ago. My apologies.
No,
it was
mine.
He will not be missed. Sorry, but not sorry.
Yeah. Bye, Ian.
Bye.
Anyways, you know where to find us on our socials. I think our last episode we forgot to do the socials part, but everything has been a blur. Yeah. So
we were normally doing it on microbrews, but that's okay.
That's
what we do now because microbrews are now public.
Yeah.
Yeah. Out in the wild.
Well, we're gonna have a whole lot to tell you on a regular episode about what changes are coming, but they're fine changes.
2 days from today.
So socials, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Homebrew Murder Crew.
You can find us on Patreon. Okay, Patreon at home. It's Patreon/HomebrewMC. You have to have an account to find us because we are 18+. You don't have to pay any money to sign up. You just got to put all your little information in there with your birthday, prove that you're over the age of 18, and then boom, there we are. Homebrew MC.
And you can email us
at homebrewmurdercrew@gmail.com.
send us a message.
Yeah.
We want listener tales. We want to hear your fears. We want to hear your mall world dreams. We want to hear what episodes you want to hear. We just want to talk to you and interact with you. So we've had a lot of new followers and everything on our socials. We've had a lot of new downloads and everything. Thank you so much. We'd love to get to know you and chat with you while we can. And we just love to hear from you.
So thank you for tuning in for this MICROBREW.
And we'll see you Thursday. Or hear you Thursday? We won't hear you at all. Or see you at all. You'll see us Thursday. Bye.